The world today needs Christians who remain Christians, says Albert Camus. My dear brothers and sisters in Christ Jesus, today we are in the 5th Sunday of Ordinary Time, and today's Gospel is inviting us to be a Christian by being salt of the earth and the light of the world. The beauty of teaching of Jesus is that he uses simple day-to-day images to bring forth this message. Okay, dear friends, let us directly dive into today's theme. First, salt of the earth. As we all know that salt is always connected with purity because it comes from the purest of all things, that is the sun and the sea. And that's why in the ancient world it was used as offerings to gods. And even the Jewish sacrifices were offered with salt. Yes, dear friends, we too are called to be pure like Jesus. Purity in speech, purity in thought, and purity in action. But what do we find today? Not purity of speech, but calamity of speech. The speech which insults other person's dignity. A speech which brings division. And there is also calamity of action, the action that does not correspond to the words that we speak in the church or in the family or in the society. That's why St. Paul in his letter to the Ephesians chapter 5 verse 3, he says, the fornication and impurity of any kind must not even be mentioned among you, as it is proper among saints. And secondly, my dear friends, as we all know, salt was a common preservative that was used in the ancient world. Nowadays, we have fridges, freezers and all other preservatives. But those days, salt kept the germs away which spoiled the food. Yahweh God tells Prophet Elisha to add salt to the water so that water does not get spoiled. So salt was a preservative. Yes, dear friends, we all have received faith through different ways. Some of us have received through our ancestors, grandparents and parents. Some of us through inspiration of others. Some of us through extraordinary events, and some of us through God's call. All of us have received faith, and all of us need to preserve this faith that we have received. We need to preserve like salt. That's why St. John Paul II in the Youth Day message in the year 2002 beautifully says, as a salt of the earth, you are called to preserve the faith that you have received and pass it on to others intact. Your generation is being challenged in a special way to keep safe the deposit of faith. This was in 2002. What about in 2020? It is still more challenging. Yes, dear friends, Jesus is inviting us to be the salt of the earth by being pure and to preserve our faith. Coming to the second image, my dear friends, the light of the world. This metaphor is often used in Bible. In today's first reading, Prophet Isaiah prophesies, then shall your light break forth like the dawn. And the first letter of John chapter 1 verse 5 we read, God is light. And Jesus himself says, I am the light of the world. John 8:12. And in today's gospel, Jesus says, you are the light of the world. My dear friends, how do we become the light of the world? The best way to become the light of the world, or the best witness I can give to Christ, is through authenticity of my life shining brightly before others. That's why in today's gospel, Jesus says, let your light shine before men, that they may see your good works and give glory to your Father who is in heaven. Yes, dear friends, Jesus is not asking us to do extraordinary things, but wherever we are and whatever work we are doing, be the light of Christ. If I am a teacher, I teach well and there is no partiality shown. Otherwise, to some children I will be light and to some children I will be darkness. And if I am a parent, I take more interest and responsibility in taking care of my child than not in a pub or a beauty parlor. And if I am a journalist, I deal in facts, not in off-truths or gossips. And if I am a priest, I practice what I preach. Yes, my dear friends in Christ Jesus, this is authenticity of my life, and this is how I bear the light of Christ. Am I salt of the earth and light of the world? Can you all name the last 5 winners of Miss Universe or last 5 Wimbledon winners? Or can you name the richest persons in India? We may not be able to get the full answers, but we can always find the answers by Googling it. But my dear friends, we cannot Google who helped me when I lost my hope in my life, who helped me when I lost peace in my life, and who is the first friend that comes to my mind in an emergency if I like to call him or her, and who taught me to be kind to others. These persons we remember and we need to remember, because these are the persons who are salt of the earth and the light of the world. The world today needs Christians who remain Christians. May the good Lord bless each one of us. Have a blessed Sunday and a happy weekend.